Hi, welcome to Red Sports. This is me, Devashish, and we are back again for the mid show. And with me, we have Joydeep Bhaji. Joydeep, 276 Australia posted. Do you reckon that it's enough for them?
First, congratulations, because you said 280. So well done. 4 run shot. We'll give you that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think India will be very happy the way they've managed to restrict Australia with this total. 4 overs, it was 8 for no loss. I think that's where it started. Bumrah and Shami were really good with the ball. I know Shami got a 5-for, and we'll come to that in a bit. But what was the most important thing was that the way we started, and Australia loves getting off to flyers. David Warner, they got the wicket on Marsh. In fact, they were 8 for 1. Then Smith came. He takes a bit of time. And why do we always feel that Shami and Bumrah and Siraj are the top 3 bowlers? Because they can make a team like Australia to 8 for 1 in 4 overs. They have that firepower. And who are the batters? David Warner, Marsh, Smith, top batters in the world. In spite of that, and that's what stops Australia from getting off to a flyer. Now, if this is 424, then you're looking at 350, 360. So a lot of credit to the fast bowler. I know Bumrah has not been getting a lot of wickets in this game, maybe even in the last game where Siraj got a 6 when you were there in Sri Lanka. Bumrah probably got 2 or 3, whatever. But the role of Bumrah here, the pressure that he creates, is not always replicated in the sense that it's not shown with the wickets. But Bumrah has been fabulous. Shami, of course, we know, he's ended up with 5-for.
Do you reckon that India is missing out on not playing Shami regularly in one-day cricket? Obviously, with Siraj performing so well in that Asia Cup final, Bumrah, he had an incredible comeback ever since that Island series. But to not play Shami in the format, is India missing out? Perhaps trying to be in doing so, they are playing Shardul Thakur.
Yeah, I think Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma know that a lot better than we do. But the only problem is all 3 of them are not very handy with the bat. Then a tail becomes very long. This was a T20 game where hardly the 8, 9, 10 bat, I think Shami would have played. But because it's a 50-over game and often it's your 6, 7, 8, 9 that bail you out, that's the reason why they're going for a bit of batting. So ideally, Rahul Dravid would have loved to play Shami also. Right now, because Hardik is our all-rounder, a fast bowling all-rounder, and Jadeja is a spin bowling all-rounder, I'm just thinking, can we get another spinner in instead of Shami? We can't play 3 fast bowlers, but maybe we can get an Ashwin in. Then we've got a left-arm spinner, a right-arm spinner, and a left-arm leg spinner.
That's more variety.
That's more variety. And the 2 fast bowlers, which are Bumrah and Siraj, and Hardik Pandya. That's a very important attack. But Shardul has been struggling with the ball today. He went for a lot. It was an easy catch of his that was dropped by Shreyas Iyer, so we have to give him that also. But yes, that is a place we would love to see all 3 fast bowlers play, but the tail becomes too long for a 50-over game.
Obviously, Jaydeep, all eyes were on Ravichandran Ashwin as to coming back after a long time. He last played for India in 2022. And then, how to rate his performance? 10 overs, 47 runs, 1 wicket.
Super. I thought, even somebody like him would be a little bit nervous on a game like this because he knows what there is in this game for him. And somebody with 500 test wickets, 5 test match hundreds, is still will feel the pressure of this game because he knows if he has a good 3 games, he could win the World Cup team. And it's dreams are made of World Cup teams. Great players have never played a World Cup. Maybe Snapshot has never played a World Cup. So this is what dreams are made of, and he wants to be in that team. So in spite of that, in 279, he has the best bowling figures. Barring the wickets, as far as economy is concerned, Jadeja's got 1051.
Right.
So he's actually bowled better in terms of economy. And Jadeja's also got 1 wicket, so does he. So I think he'll be happy with this performance. I think on this pitch, not much done. 10-1, 10-0, 47-1 is very good against the Aussies.
Obviously, Jaydeep, if you look back at the Australian batting, once again, it was David Warner giving that explosive start to the Australian team. How to rate David Warner's innings today?
Oh, he holds the key because he knows these bowlers, he knows these venues. He's played IPL, he's been playing international cricket for donkey's years. So he's a very important call in this field. He was let off early of Shardul Thakur. That's how it goes. Had he had that catch, that simple catch by Shreyas Iyer being taken, and Shardul gets a wicket early on, maybe he could have ended up with getting 3 or 4. So that's how the game goes sometimes. But David Warner is very important for the Australian team's success. And this Australian team is about 60% they're playing. They've got 4 very big players missing from this. So they will, the Maxwell's come in, hopefully, we'll see Cummins come in, we'll see Stark come in. This will be a different team altogether.
Absolutely. And talking about another Aussie, obviously statesman, he had a wrist injury due to which he did not play that series in South Africa. But first match since coming back into the Australian team, scoring that 41 runs. Yes, he did not play aggressively, but the innings that he played in the middle system that actually set the platform for Australia posting 276.
Generally, he doesn't play aggressively because Warner was doing the aggressive bit, and then what he does is, he plays himself in. The 41 is playing himself in, and he got out at a brilliant delivery from Shami, which castled him, which jacked back in, old ball jacking back in. Otherwise, this is when he takes off. So this wicket is what turned the game for India, as far as I'm concerned, because this is where he puts his foot on the accelerator and says, now he'll be 41 to 71, 81 in really quick time. So this is when he makes up for it. And this is the dismissal that turned the tide in India's favour.
After having watched Shami for so long, you have seen Bengal cricket by like no one. It's obviously following Shami since he made his debut for Bengal. Do you reckon that he's in his prime at the moment? Be it Test cricket, be it one-day cricket, and today he had an outstanding, his best performance against Australia, 5 for 51. Do you think that Shami is at his best?
Yeah, it's not because of the 5 wickets, because that's not in your control. Like I said, in the Sri Lanka, in the final, it could well have been Bumrah getting 6 wickets. That's how good he was. Wickets are not always for the guy who's bowling the best. Sometimes it's the other guy who's bowling really well, and I end up getting 5. Today, Bumrah was equally good, but today Shami's got the 5. But I also feel that, with the new fitness regime he's had, he's been a brilliant bowler. I saw him from under 19 Bengal to 22 to his ascent to the top of Indian cricket has been very, very quick. He's very sharp graph he had. You saw him from close. Under 22 Bengal, next year Bengal, next year India, next year India. So he played from under 22 Bengal to India in 2.5 years' time. That's how good he was. So he always could bowl. He's very strong. He's got brilliant action. He's seen. Everything is in him. The only place where he lacked as a young boy was he didn't pay much attention to fitness. Now what age has done is that he realizes now there is natural ability is one, he's what, 30, 31, 32. So he's not a spring chicken, he's not 25 years old anymore. Youth is not by his side. Now he started really working hard in the gym. If he's following him on social media, you'll just see how many times videos of him. He wouldn't enter the gym back in the day. But now he's looking leaner, fitter. And when Shami runs well, he bowls well. When I see him running, the way he is running, I know what's coming out of the hand.
Obviously, now that Shami has performed, would you see him, the team management persisting with him in the next match? Obviously, 2 more matches to go before India goes into the World Cup.
Yeah, I would want to see him get the game because he didn't play a lot of games in Sri Lanka, just the one game, right?
He just played the
first game. Yeah. So I would like to see him play all the games, and maybe you never know because see, it's a long tournament. You also want your reserve players to be informed because it could well be that Bumrah needs a break in between. Siraj might need a break. We see the amount of players that are getting injured. It's possible that somebody gets injured, somebody's feeling a niggle, and you don't want your reserve players to be absolutely in the cold storage. You want them to have some game time. I would love to see him play all 3 matches.
Is there any concern with leaking too many runs? Because yes, on flat days, you would expect that runs being scored against in World Cup matches. So, is there a bit of concern in the Indian bowling league? A bit too many runs?
Yeah, Shardul is the only one who lead runs today, but I think that apart, if you're picking up wickets at regular intervals, I have no problem with you leaking runs. If Shami was today 10, he was still 10.55. It could be 10.67 I would take because 55 means half the side is out. So if you're taking wickets, leaking runs is not a problem. The problem with Shardul is that he's leaking runs and not picking up wickets. That's where the problem lies. And he's a weak link in our bowling. And everybody knows that. So every team will come after Shardul hard. And it's how he reacts. He's a very good cricketer. And he gets a lot of wickets in Test cricket. It's a different thing. It's a different game in Test cricket. It's not about runs, it's about getting people out. Here it's about runs. So you cannot really have an economy of 7.5 in a game. Today the others did well. If today Shami and Bumrah had a ordinary day, we could look at
chasing more than 300.
Absolutely, for sure.
It's obviously herein lies the importance of a player like Hardik Pandya. Obviously he's a match-winning all-rounder. With him, he will be back. Obviously, then what do you reckon would be the bowling attack? If I have to ask you, what would be our ideal bowling attack for India leading into the first match against Australia and Chennai?
Kuldeep, Jadeja, my two spinners. My three fast bowlers will be Bumrah, Siraj, and Shardul, and Hardik.
So you go with Chadu.
I'll go with Shardul because I don't have to bowl him. I don't have to bowl him. If the other five have a good day, he can play as a seamer who can bat. See, my problem of playing Shami is then my 9, 10, 11 becomes weak in batting. Very big. And Kuldeep also can hang around but he can't score runs. So that's the reason why. Then you become 8, 9, 10, 11, 50 over game, that's too risky. Too risky. You know, even somebody like a Deepak Char back in the day, he could bat. He's your first class 100. So you want people like this to be able to be in your team. Because you don't want 8, 9, 10, 11 to can't get 25 runs. That's too big. You look at the Aussie side, you know, make Stark get back, Cummins get back. You know, so we saw people like, everybody coming and chipping in with the bat. 1 or 2 is okay, but 4 is too much.
276 runs, is it chaseable?
Yeah, I think so. I think India's had a fabulous afternoon. The bowlers have been super. The fielding wasn't great. We got catches, run-outs missed. But in spite of that, I think India's got out of jail to get them 276. And I think this will be chaseable. It won't be easy because this wicket did not seem as good as a normal morning wicket. There was a bit of low bounce and ball wasn't coming up to the bat. I think it will be tight, but I think they will be across the line.
Would you see any improvisation as far as the batting order is concerned? Because as was the case in the Asia Cup final, we saw the team management promoting Ishan Kishan to open the batting ahead of Rohit Sharma. Obviously, that time just 50 runs, but still, would you see a change in the batting order? Somewhat.
I don't think so. I don't think so because 276 is a decent total. They are very good bowling attack. And it will be a grind. It won't be easy. So even if you're 70 for 1, you could still be 130 for 4 in this game. So I think it will be with a lot of respect. And in a 3-match series, you don't want to try too many things and fall behind 1-0. Then you have to win 2 on the trot against one of the best teams in the world to be able to win the series. So I think they'll be more solid. They'll be more orthodox in their thinking and go with a normal batting order. As long as within 49.5 overs they get 1 run more, they'll be happy.
What would be the strategy for the team?
Chances just play out the power play because I think it's important. The first 10 overs, they were 8 for 1 after 4. And in spite of that, they got 276. They could have easily got 350. If Shami hadn't got Smith out and the way they were going at the time, they were looking at 323.
Yes, Shami and Lala in that partnership.
Yeah, that partnership. Smith
and Lala.
So that because Shami got wickets at the crucial juncture. That's the reason why Ashwin got a very important wicket over there. That is the reason why. See, that's the point I was taking the pre-show also with you. You have to take wickets to be able to keep the run flow down. Now Australia got 276 because they lost tons of wickets. You never see 276 for 3. Then you're looking at 350 because then you can accelerate. Once the batters get out and the bowlers come in, that's when you can lower the run, and that's what's happening. That's why it's imperative for you to take wickets as a bowler.
Obviously, now that the Indians will be batting, now the biggest focus will be Shreyas Iyer. He's coming back after an injury. He was out. He did not play that Super 4 matches. How does Shreyas Iyer bat now?
See, I generally feel that Shreyas Iyer, whether he scores runs or doesn't score runs, is not so much of an issue as how is his back holding up.
But what happened with the way he fielded? He did miss a catch.
No, see, he didn't miss a catch because of bad back. He missed a catch just normally. But the way he was diving around, there was one chance right at the end where he dived full length and couldn't get to it. He looked fit. Now, to be able to bat 50 overs and can he bat 100 balls is what I want to see. It doesn't matter even if he doesn't score the runs. I know if he plays 100 balls, he'll be 70, 80 batting, maybe even more. But I want to see whether his back can take the grind of fielding 50 overs, diving around, and then in 20 minutes time come back and again bat. So that will be a good test for him. I hope he gets enough time in the middle just to convince himself also that I can do it in the World Cup. Because it's not only that others are doubting him, he's doubting himself. Because back is something he has no control over. He himself doesn't know the answer to it. And I hope he gets runs. I hope he strikes right in the middle so that he himself believes that he's okay.
Yeah. David, before we are just close to our show on before we end, just one final word. Obviously, you did spoke about how Indians should pace their innings in the run chase. But what are the positives from the first innings, according to you?
I think the positives was the bowling first up in the power play. It's not easy to bowl to David Warner, Mitchell Stark, Mitch Marsh, and Smith at the top 3. They were superb. I think the spinners were decent. Spinners were decent in the middle. They did the job. 10-51, 10-47. I've taken on those wickets against an Australian team. And that apart, I also feel that the way Shami bowled in the middle, Bumrah bowled in the middle and closed things off. The catching, except that one catch, the catching was still okay. The ground fielding was bad. There was a run out miss. KL had an ordinary day behind the stumps. But I sometimes wonder, why is he keeping wickets? I know he's going to keep wickets in the World Cup. But okay, I mean, he's not going to improve his keeping in 2 days' time. Ishan Kishan is playing the game. And if you really want to win the series, why not have him keep also? Because it's been a while since Ishan Kishan has kept. Even in Sri Lanka, it was Ishan Kishan on the field. So suddenly you want Ishan Kishan to keep, you also want to give him that time in the middle. Maybe we'll see that in the next couple of games. But a lot of positives, and I think it was a little disappointed with the way Australia played also. I think they were missing their big guns. People like Maxwell and all who actually come and put the cream on top and take it to a different level. So 276, I still feel is not across the line, but will still be a fight for India. But I'm backing India on this. I know I backed Australia.
You did back Australia.
Yeah, but I also said 340.
Yes.
I also said 340, and I would have backed Australia if they got 340 for sure. Even if they got 300, I would have backed Australia. But because India pegged them back at 270, I'm going with India. But I still don't feel it will be a walk in the park.
So that's it for our mid show. Means Jolita reckons that it won't be an easy work, but India can definitely successfully chase this total. So keep watching this space to get all the live updates from our coverage in Asian Games. Until then,